Hi, I'm Cathy Neptune and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to do fast, fun, and fabulous recipes for you. And because it's summer finally, I want to give you some really fun, easy, and kind of healthy recipes for Memorial Day coming up and the 4th of July and just for your family because they're really good. So we're going to do a Big Mac burger salad with the Mac dressing on top. It's so colorful. And I'm doing it for maybe 2 to 4 people, but you can adapt this and for as many people as you want and do it even on a big tray. It's a lot of fun to do and visually fabulous. And then we're going to do some smashed potatoes in the oven, which I think have a little more flavor than a French fry would be. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's all the rage on the internet, and I think it's fun and fast and fabulous. So we're going there. And then for dessert, it's strawberry season, of course, my favorite time. And we're going to do strawberry shortcake shooters. And I think it's a fun way for a presentation where you don't have to do a big bowl and everybody serves themselves. It's just a fun presentation. So we're going to get started on our smashed potatoes, and I have my oven on. And these are just, you can see, they're really the small, you buy them in a bag, and they're just the small multicolored potatoes. And I think these are fun to do. And we're going to put these on the stove, and I've just got enough water to cover them, and then about a teaspoon of salt in the water just to give them a head start on flavoring. And I'm going to put these on the back burner. And we're going to boil those. I'm going to bring them to a boil. And here's the tip too. You always want to start your potatoes in cold water. Don't start, it isn't like pasta. If you start them in boiling water, the centers of them don't cook evenly and the outsides will be mushy. So this is cold or room temperature water, and start them with your potatoes in the water, bring them up to a boil, and we're probably going to check them after 22 minutes. And then we're going to do something fun. And my oven is preheating at 425, which is a good temperature we want to oven fry our potatoes. You can also do this in the air fryer if you'd like. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to start in on our strawberries. And we're going to slice these, and the strawberries are just so beautiful. Look at how gorgeous these are. And get yourself some little tools that are good to go. And in my little bowl here, I have about a 1/4 cup of sugar. And this is an egg slicer, but I use it for strawberries. And we'll just chunk them up. And I'm going to do these ahead because I like them to kind of macerate in the sugar. And I want to cut them small because we have these little cups that we're going to use as these are going to be our layered shooters. So you don't want big chunks of it, but you don't have to be fussy either. So I'm going to put those right on a 1/4 cup of sugar. And like I said, depending on how many people you have, you can adapt this to whatever amount that you want, which I love those kind of recipes. And over here, you know what these are? They're little shortcake shells that you buy. It's like a sponge cake. And you can use biscuits if you want. You can use pound cake. You can make your own white cake. You could even do graham crackers if you like, but I like to do traditional. I'm going to move these over so you can see what I'm doing. You can do frozen strawberries, but this time of year, you got to go for the fresh strawberries. And you could even do this the night before. The longer they set in the sugar, the juicier they get. So it's nice when you can do things ahead of time. And of course, I've washed all of these and dried them really well. We don't have to be precise. We're going to make them a little rustic. I should have a bench scraper. That would make it easier. How many do you think we'll need? I wouldn't do the whole assembly the night before, because if you have all your ingredients ready, it's no big deal just to assemble them. Let's do one more, and then I think that's good. This is really an egg slicer, but I use it for mushrooms and strawberries. It's nice if you want to make a presentation with just sliced strawberries. They come out all uniform. You could even do the potatoes ahead of time too. That wouldn't hurt. You know, you can serve them at room temperature, but I kind of like them warm, and we're going to serve them with just a side of ketchup. So let's mix these up with the sugar. And just set those aside, probably for half an hour, but like I said, you could do them overnight. You want a nice rendition of the juices that are going to come from here. And it doesn't take that long, so we'll put those there. Move this over. And then I'm going to do that. Over here. And then I'm going to preheat a skillet here. And this is lean ground beef that I've done. And I just formed it. I sprayed this with nonstick spray, and hopefully it'll come out. But I'm going to try and do one big burger patty in the skillet, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. It's really cool. We want these to look like little mini burgers. So I'm going to just add, like, season as you would a regular hamburger. And I love to have onion powder and flavors. And I don't want to use raw onions in this and cook them, because they won't cook. This is going to cook really fast. That, and then a little bit of garlic powder. Not a lot. I'd say 1/4 teaspoon, just a sprinkle. I'm going to heat up our skillet. And this is like lean, 90% lean ground beef. I'm going to try and get it off. I think it'll come off the dish pretty good. If not, we can flatten it inside the skillet. And that's going to be our burger component. We're going to see if it all comes out. Probably not, but I could have put this on wax paper too, but we'll see. Oh, it's okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just so that it's even and it'll cook evenly. That's good. So put that on, neaten up the edges so when we flip it. And it's nice to have the lean hamburger. It really makes a nice finished product. You don't want anything too greasy. So I'm just going to put that on low. And you want it cooked pretty much, you don't want raw, but you want like a medium. Okay, so that's that. And then what's really nice, you know, when you have a burger, a Big Mac, you have little croutons. Or I'm sorry, not croutons, burger buns. So what we're going to replicate here is I took some hamburger buns and cut them into little cubes. And we're going to toast these in the oven, and these will be our croutons to give you the flavor of a Big Mac. And I'm just spritzing it with a little oil, just vegetable oil. And I'm going to put those in the oven, and the oven is very hot. So this should only take, you got to watch these, probably 6 minutes. We got to check on this. After 6 minutes, So that's going in. Our burger's cooking. Our water's boiling. And what else can we do? This is what I have for my smashed potatoes. And I'll show you what we have for our Big Mac. This here, and you can see why it's good to prepare a lot of this ahead of time. This is the ingredients that we have for our Big Mac sauce. We have a 1/4 cup of ketchup, chopped dill pickles, or you could use a pickle relish on this too. 2 teaspoons, and that's 2 teaspoons of the pickles, 2 teaspoons of the mustard. And this is about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce and a 1/2 cup of mayo. And that we're going to mix all together. And that's going to be our sauce, our Big Mac sauce. So let's do that. Get a tiny spatula. And then we also have our lettuce. Look at these tomatoes, how cute these are. And we're going to garnish it with some dill pickles on the top, of course, even though we have it in the sauce. And a nice onion. So let's start out with our 1/2 cup of mayo. And this you could certainly do ahead of time as well. And then we have our Worcestershire, a teaspoon, and I'll put all the measurements at the end of this video for you. The regular hot dog mustard doesn't have to be fancy. Chopped up dill pickles, or the pickle relish. And then the ketchup. I just give away the secret to the Big Mac sauce, but this is really good. And then about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. That's all, just eyeball it. And again, the onion powder. Same amounts of each. And we don't need salt in here. And then we're just going to mix that up to combine. And that's going to go on the side. And this is really good if you can make it ahead of time and let it set overnight. It's good, but it doesn't really matter. Depends on what your schedule. You want to be able to enjoy your party or event or your family time. So I'm a big proponent of doing things ahead of time. So you can just sit back and relax. And it doesn't have to be really 100% blended. I think it looks kind of nice like that. And that's our sauce that we've done. Our potatoes are doing well. This is our beef. That should be ready to flip. I want to get it nice and solid so that when I flip it, it'll be good. And we'll set this here. And then we're going to slice up our onion. We can start assembling that, excuse me, right now if you'd like. And this is a sweet onion, but don't forget the trick I taught you about making sweet onions and putting them in sugar water ahead of time and letting them soak. But the Vidalia onions looked really nice, so I got a Vidalia onion. And I can't forget it. I got to check on my croutons there in a minute so they don't overdo. And not a lot of, although these are mild, but you don't need a lot of onion. And this would serve 2 people, 2 to 4 people. Let's check our croutons because they cook fast at 425. Give them a little shake. They look pretty good. And I'm going to chop our onion. And we're going to just sprinkle that over the top. And you can use, I'm just using iceberg lettuce because that's usually what they have on your fast food burgers. But you can put whatever kind of lettuce that you'd like. Mix it up. Same for the tomatoes. I just think these look so nice. But you could certainly do sliced tomatoes. Sprinkle them out. These are so sweet. And they come in a little container and it's just perfect. You know, you don't have a lot of leftovers. So let's just set that. It may not flip evenly, but I've got a plan B for that if it doesn't work. So you just have to be flexible. Okay. Let's give the strawberries another little mix. You can see already all the juices that are coming out. And we can start to assemble those ahead of time. I have a little bit of cheese blend for our Big Mac salad. And this is just whatever blend of cheese you like. Of course, American cheese is standard. I always put a little bit of cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack too, and just put it in the blender, or you could shred it up. So we're going to do that. I'll just leave that to the side right now. And you know what we can do? We can start assembling our little shooters here. And I'm going to move this so that you can get a better view. You know what? I'm just going to move it over here. And I love these little cups. You can get these anywhere. And you have an assembly line. You can even grab some friends or people who are not busy and say, hey, come on in the kitchen and we're going to cook. It's a fun thing to do. So I have some whipped topping or whipped cream, whichever is your preference. And you absolutely need a cute little strawberry bowl. And then let's fill these up. Depending on how quickly you want to do this. So about that much. See how many layers we can get. Usually there's a trial run on one of them. You just want to end up with some whipped cream on the top. Little dollop of whipped cream. And let's see if we can get another layer. Some more little crumbs. This is so fun for the kids to do too. You know, I'm always saying get the kids in the kitchen with you and have them do this. They would be so proud to serve this to your guests and say, I did this. A little whipped cream on the top. And there's your strawberry shooter. Strawberry shortcake shooter. How fun. Let's do another one. I'm going to check on our burger again. Oh, that's good. Okay. It kind of split in half, which is fine because you'll see what we're going to do. See, but it's nice and toasty. And I'm just going to turn it off at this point because it's already cooked. So the residual heat is going to cook that. I'm going to check our potatoes to see how they're doing. Yeah, you just want them tender, but not mushy. About, I'd say another 2 minutes on those. I think they'll be good. And, oh, let me check. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place today. I got a lot going on. Oh, yeah. These are nice and toasty. Look at our croutons for our Big Mac burger salad. So I'll put that there. That's chilling. And let's do another one of these. That's good. We got 2 layers of everything in here. And as the strawberries set, the juices will sink in and the moisture will go, the juices will go into the shortcake crumbles that we did. And these go pretty quickly. And strawberries. And whipped cream. You know, these would be adorable too if you did red, white, and blue with blueberries and strawberries in the whipped cream, and maybe a white cake mix, or you could just do these as well. Look at how cute, little shooters. So we'll do a few of those. I'm going to drain our potatoes. And I've melted some butter over here. I'll show you this. I'm going to move these out. We can do a few more of these. So this is melted butter, and I'm going to put the potatoes right in this bowl that I have lined with some paper towels, because you don't want to, we're going to put these in the oven and you don't want wet potatoes in there. So just to dry them off a little bit. And again, these are probably enough for 2 people, depending on how hungry everyone is. But double or triple it or whatever. And just to dry them a little bit. And then I have ketchup for the side. I'm going to move all this over here. These are just the cutest little things. Look at these. They're so cute. I guess you can do cute in the kitchen. Why not? And then our melted butter. And I have here a pan for the oven. A sheet pan is always good. Whatever you have. I like my stoneware. And I'm just going to melt this a little bit. I have it melted, but it's kind of solidified. So just a little bit. And I'm going to add some seasonings to that, because whenever you can add flavor, that's the way to go. And I'll put these out on my stone. And you want to spread them out because we're going to smash these and they need a little bit of room. So there's our butter. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder, about a 1/4 teaspoon. And some onion powder. We're using a lot of the same flavors today. About the same amount of onion powder. And I like to add a little bit of salt, because potatoes need a little bit of seasoning. Okay. And there's different methods to doing this. And I'm going to try each one to see. I have a little bit of parchment paper, and I'm going to spray it and see if this helps, because the potatoes get sticky. So spread them out so when we smash them, they're going to have enough room. That looks about right. And get a sheet pan that's big enough, because you do, when they smash out. And then I have this, and you can use a cup or a glass, but I like my little meat tenderizer. And what you want to do is just barely smash them down. How fun is this? Again, get the kids to do this. It's just so fun. And because we didn't mash them and cook them 100%, you want them about not even an inch thick, like 1/2 inch. And you don't even have to peel these. These potatoes are so tender. And if you don't have parchment, of course, you can use a little piece of wax paper. But I find they don't stick this way, and it's so easy to do. You use the weight of the tenderizer here, or like I said, a glass or a mug, anything. It pushes them flat, and they're all different colors, and I think they all have different flavors as well. And one more. Let's put this one over here. So you can see they're going to cook nice and evenly because they're all spread out. So that's good. I think I'm using all the tools I have in my kitchen today, which just makes it fun. And then we're going to season these. So we have our seasoned butter with the salt and onion powder and garlic powder. And we just want to brush the tops because, again, it's flavor. It helps them to brown just a little bit. And these are going in the 425-degree oven. And that's a hot oven too. So we're going to check them after about, well, I'd say 15 minutes. And we're going to add some Parmesan cheese on the top. We have some Parmesan cheese to go. And these are going to be like fries, but they have a lot more flavor, I think. And they're a little healthier because they're not deep fried. And here's our Parmesan. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and I'm going to put the timer on. And when we come back, we're going to finalize all these different recipes that we have today. And it's a great presentation. This is going to be fun. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. We're going to assemble everything. Look at our crispy potatoes. They were in the oven at 425 for about 23 minutes. And then I took them out and I sprinkled a little bit of Parmesan cheese on the top and put them back in the oven for another 5 minutes. And look at how beautiful and crispy. And these are better than French fries. And you know, you don't have to watch over them, and they're not deep fried, and you put them in the oven. A little ketchup here, and you're good to go. That's a summer. I mean, that is really good. And we're going to finish up our Big Mac burger salad. We have our sauce already done, and I made a ton of sauce, so keep this on hand. Mixing that, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of our cheese blend here over the top because we're building a Big Mac flavor on the top. We have our onions and our shredded lettuce and tomatoes. And then we're going to need, of course, our pickles. These are dill pickle slices, just like you'd have on a burger. And you can put these over to the side in case people don't like pickles, but why not? And I'm trying to drain the juice out of the bottom that's settled. And again, I just do these ahead of time, slice everything, and you can even do a buffet style and have everybody do their own. And that's looking good. Now, before we finish it off, this is our burger that we did in the frying pan. And what I have this little is called a quart, but you can use a little tiny circle cutter, or you don't have to do this at all, but I thought they looked like little burgers. So I did a bunch of these for the top. And if not, you can just crumble, you know, do in the skillet, just crumble the hamburger and cool it down a little because you don't want to wilt the lettuce. And it's good if these are room temperature. And you can do these at the last minute. And I imagine you could do a turkey burger one too if you want, but this we're trying to replicate the Big Mac flavors. And then with the leftover ones, let's say you didn't want to do this, but how cute are these? I mean, they look like little burgers. And you can take a little masher thingy and you crumble this in the pan, frying pan, and you have these little crumbles too. So you have a choice either way. You just chop it up and do this right in the skillet while you're cooking it too. But I like to do these with the leftovers. And this makes good sloppy joes too, if you didn't want to do these. So let's sprinkle, have a little bit of both. So doing that over the top. You can see what a fabulous dinner this would be out on a patio on a beautiful spring or summer day. Or you're doing a cookout and you tell people, well, we're just having a salad tonight. But then you bring this out. And let me tell you, put the little hamburgers on the top. Put as much as you want. Or load it up because it's summer. You can tell them, I made all these little tiny burgers all by hand. And we'll do that. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah. And you dig into that and you have many, many layers of the burger flavors. And then here are our toasted hamburger bun croutons. Look at how crispy these came out. Just spritz them with a little bit of oil. Put that over the top. And then, should we just put a dab, just a little drizzle? Remember, we have all those flavors in here. And just lightly and serve more on the side. And this I wouldn't do, of course, till the last minute. But I'd put this on the table and have everybody help themselves, but just so they get the idea. And that is our beautiful Big Mac burger salad with tomatoes and onions and pickles and lettuce and burgers and croutons. Oh my. And don't forget the cheese too. That is a great dinner. Any time of the week, you don't have much on hand, you always have a hamburger and all these accoutrements. So go for it. And a beautiful oven roasted smashed potatoes. Those are fun. They're seasoned. All you need is ketchup. And that's good to go. And look at our beautiful strawberry shooters. Strawberry shortcake shooters. These are great for the summer. They're light. They're refreshing. You can certainly do those ahead. And just a one dish wonder. And people are going to love those and say, why didn't I think of all of this? It's a great summer feast. I hope you try them. Thank you to everybody who writes and tells me all the new adventures you're having in your kitchen. It's so fun. So thank you to everybody who writes in. Thank you for watching. Have a great kickoff to the summer, and may the fork be with you.